the the streaming on. All right. Tonight we have the pleasure to have the first presentation from Shupi. She has the the task of presenting everyone communicate but few connects. And from her discussion, we understand that it's not only to talk that make you a communicator, but you have to know how to care about others so that people care about what you are talking about. So on that, I'll let Shupi to take the floor and present the book to us. Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone. Uh, the um the book is about everyone communicate, few connect. And John Maxwell argued that communication is not enough by itself. Many people can speak or deliver information, but only a few can truly connect with other. Connecting is not the ability to influence, inspire, and build trust. Mm, Communication is common, but connection is rare. Um, do people really listen and follow you when you talk? That is the key question. So, what is the connection? The connection is more than words, emotional impact, trust, and influence. And Maxwell show in that story, Richard is about a colleague who had to present a project in front of a group. Instead of trying to engage his audience, he's, he focused only on himself, his idea,
Uh,
and the
are you still presenting the PowerPoint to us, or because we are still on what is connection?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
I try to explain.
It's good. We can see it. Yeah, you're going good. Keep going.
Okay, thank you. What is connection and modern? The connection is more than words, emotional impact, trust, and influence. And connection goes beyond words. Trust, true connection involves more than just speaking. It includes body language, tone of voice, and emotion. People don't always remember everything you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Uh, and John Marshall said, people may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. And for that, uh, John Marshall shares his colleague who who had to present a project in front of a group. Instead of trying to engage his audience, his focus only on himself, his idea, and the impression he want to make. He spoke in a way that clearly showed he was mainly trying to demonstrate his own intelligence and mastery of the subject. As a result, people turned out. The audience was not engaged because they couldn't see what the presentation offered them personally. Maxwell highlights this as a classic example of communication without connection uh, is not uh, a best way. When someone put their ego and their own goal at that center, they break the link with other. And after that, we have five principal connection. Find common ground. Focus on similarity instead of difference. Keep it simple, avoid complicated language, make the message clear. Connecting is more a skill than natural talent. Capture people's interest, tell stories, use example, make it relevant. Connecting encourage your influence in every situation. Inspire people, show passion and energy. Connecting always required energy. Live what you communicate. People trust you if your action matches your words. Connecting goes beyond words. Um, for to show this example, Maxwell highlights Bill Clinton' natural ability to make people feel important in one-on-one interaction. Even in a crowded room, Clinton would give his full attention to the person he was speaking with. He asked questions, listened without distraction, and responded as if what you say was the only thing that mattered in that moment. And the effect is people who meet him often walk away saying something like, I feel like I was the only person in the room. That emotional reaction is a sign of true connection. It wasn't about politic or title, it was about human focus and respect. And after that, we have five practice of connection. Connect with yourself. Self confidence and authenticity are very essential. Communicate with openness, be honest and transparent. Um, for the one, connect with yourself. Self confidence and authenticity are essential. Maxwell saw how early in his career he tried to imitate other speakers, but as long as he was copying others, he never really connected. Once he accepted his own style and became authentic, his impact changed dramatically. And after that, we have communicate with openness, be honest and transparent. People can sense whether you are honest and transparent. Um, M- Maxwell describe leaders who openly admit mistake instead of hiding them. When a leader tells the truth, even when it's hard, people respect them more and feel safe to trust them. We have know your audience, adapt your style to who you are speaking with. For that, Maxwell talk about a pastor who adjusts his sermon to match the education level and culture of his audience. When his message was too technical, people disconnect. But when he adapts, the audience feel understood and engaged. So it's very important to adapt your style to who you are speaking with. And we have go beyond words, use gesture, eye contact, and emotion. Your action must reflect your word. Uh, he points out public figure who lost all credibility because they preach one thing but live the opposite. Mm, in contrast, those who embodied their message inspired trust and created lasting connection. Uh, the last thing is go to where they are. Don't expect people to adjust you. If you want to connect, you must be willing to step into their world emotionally, intellect- intellectually, and sometimes even physically. Mm, Connection required meeting people where they are, not expecting them to come to you. And for that, Maxwell highlight leaders who didn't stay shut away in their offices, but instead went out among their people, talked with them, and shared their circum- circumstance that present build closeness and immediate trust. So people will not believe what you say, but they will believe what you do. In conclusion, Maxwell's main message is clear. Connecting is key to leadership and success. If you want to influence people, you must go beyond just talking and learn how to create real bonds. So I'm down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I love it.
Thank
You
you.
see,
Standing ovation.
thank you, Lord. You see that
Thank you.
it's not that difficult, Shupi. You just pass your fire. How do you call it? They call it baptême de feu. I don't know the expression in the.
Trial by fire.
Baptismal bath.
Yeah.
What did you
Just
say?
try the fire.
Huh? What?
Leon, how you call it? Trial by fire.
I can't
Thank
hear
you,
you.
Bion.
Trial by fire.
Oh, try by fire. Okay, thank you, Lord. Thank
Okay.
you, Shupi. That was
Powerful.
great. And
Thank you.
also the book was like destined to how to be yours because it's a communication and you make sure that we get connected to your feeling how you are trying to do the best presentation. Thank you, Lord. And on that, I will invite everyone who want to not just to communicate tonight, but to make sure that we get connected to have the floor.
Mhm.
Who want to go? Or no one want to get connected today?
That's a good question.
Let me, if they say who want to go to the blackboard and no one want to go, the teacher just start calling people. So
Yes.
so
No,
let
you
me
select volunteer.
So,
let,
may we ask question first
What?
before probably we go forward? I just have a quick question.
yeah, go ahead. At least it will start letting people to think about what they want to say.
Okay, now I wouldn't ask that question without thanking Shupi sincerely for her great work. I'm so proud. I not only am happy that she has accepted the offer because I knew it was going to help her a lot, and I also know what I believe a lot in her, what she is capable of doing, and sometimes she doesn't really believe in her own ability. And I'm glad that she has demonstrated it to other people today, and that should really let her know that she is capable of doing much more than what she always thinks she could do. And the practice makes mastery. The more she practices, the better she will definitely become. So thank you very much, Shupi, for doing this. And my question is, she, even though it seems slightly personal, she tends to say that she is introvert, and the book has mentioned it so many times how people could be introverts but yet present or share information with others. And strangely enough, the author Maxwell said that he is naturally introvert, but that did not prevent him from becoming a speaker. So with this presentation now, beside to her, how do people feel as they could feel introvert or extrovert and yet be able to share information? And the question going then particularly to her, how does she feel if she could still be introvert but yet be able to taking all these characteristics put together, if she could still share and connect with people?
Okay.
Shupi, you want to try or you want other people to try and then you'll be thinking about it?
I can try. Uh, uh, I know that communication is not uh, just about me, but all about others. So uh, even I was introvert, I will try to how can to know. Uh,
To let people know my mind.
Just say it as it's come. Don't worry.
yes, I
Just say
will.
it as it come.
Even sometimes you can put French words because a lot of people can help you here as well.
Only Beyond is Native American here, maybe.
Native American.
He's born here, I mean. Only Beyond is born here. Everyone else, we came from Benin or abroad.
Oh, even Shirel.
No, Shira was three. So you speak French, Shira can understand. You speak French, Shira can understand.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Only Beyond is pure. So, Giovanni, just go, talk, and keep going.
Okay.
We have to understand
Okay.
you.
Okay, so I know the communication is not about me, so I must focus on the interest of other and not on myself. I think it's a best idea, even I'm introvert person.
Yeah, thank you to say that,
Thank you.
and to help you a little bit in that sense is the fact that the introvert people even communicate better. How? By listening, because the introvert people they are not fighting to take the floor. They want to
Mhm.
listen. They don't want to share a lot. So by listening, you make your interlocutor feel like, oh, we are making a good communication here. We are making a good discussion, even though that you are maybe talking about 20% or maybe 1%. But let the other person be talking afterwards. Oh, we had a great communication, even though that he didn't do much. So, yeah. And also, when you are communicating or you are on stage, is a kind of a role that you have to know how to play because there are a lot of people who are introverts, but when they get on the stage, they change because they know that they are playing a role here and they will totally change. I hope that if another person wants to get get on the floor and try to answer a Charlie's question, that would be great. So, Colum, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I would say, like you say, introvert people they listen. They don't want to take the floor and keep talking, right? But being introvert is different from presenting something, right? You are introvert, but you introvert means you don't go to people and start talking your mind, start asking the question. But when you have one assignment and have to do it, you focus on it and you do it, and you are in hurry of present it to get over it because you're nervous, right? So I just want to point that's a difference of being introvert and having an assignment of presentation.
Thank you. And do
So,
Thank
you
you
want
very
so
to
much.
if
talk?
you allow me,
Hold on,
uh,
Thomas. Sister Colomb, do you want to say anything about the book and Shupi's or the presentation itself?
No, the question that Charlie asked, that
Yeah,
she's
but
introvert.
I want you to blend both together so that you can give
Oh,
your
well, on the book, I will say it's a great book, and I want to thank Shupi for doing the great job of presenting it. She did excellent, and I want to commend her on her great presentation. Uh, on my part, we read even last week, whatever we read, making love connection and all of that. So I think both kind of ties together, right? When you are talking, and I really like the five practice of communication. So those are very good. If we can stick to those, we will improve a lot our communication with other people. So thank you again for Shupi for a great presentation, and thanks to whoever suggested the book.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister
Thank
Tom.
you.
I clap for you. Yeah.
Thank you,
She
Papa.
was, she did only 2 minutes to do both, so that's great. And Fred Thomas, you have the floor.
Okay. Thank you, Nasif, and thank you also, Shupi, for put us on the path of communication. Right, like we all know, communication is a two-way street, but most of the time we forget. And when you meet people and try to talk, and then you talk too much, and in opposite to the people who are introvert, who are kind of not shy, but they are reserved, right? And they will listen and they observe before they can talk. But they have also their private circle where they talk a lot, right? When they don't know, like they're new in somewhere, they wait and they wait, but some other people by nature, they'll just see you like, and 1 minute later they'll be talking like they knew you forever, right? And they're different. So, and the people who talk a lot also, it's easy for them to commit so many mistakes, and because the more you talk, and likely you're gonna dig so many holes for yourself. But when you are like kind of, I won't say shy, but you contain yourself, you take your time, you observe, and you get to, the essential, and you get to what need to be done or not, what need to be talked about, and you spend your time to listen to the other people, and then you ask the right question. So thank you again for the presentation. It was clear enough. Now I have my question of last time, and I would like to ask again. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
By by working a lot.
By practicing,
By
practice.
practicing, yeah, by practicing.
Okay. So, yeah, so even if we are introvert, we are at some degree, everyone, right? So we just have to practice the craft that we have as assignment. And that's how I will say. To make it simple, like you say in the communication, just make it simple, get to the point, and then later when you get opportunity you can explain more. So I won't be too long. I think you covered most of my stuff already. To just be yourself, right? Remember that part. To not try, if you want to talk, don't try to mimic to be like someone else. Just be authentic, be yourself, and then the word will come to express what your feeling is about. And to not forget also the audience, right? The comedian is different from the lecturer, and it's different from the musician. And you have, in all of these situations, you have to measure the audience, right? If you're a comedian and you're talking for 5 minutes and nobody is laughing, you don't have it right? So you have to listen to the audience, and you know if it's 2 person or a 10-person room, and then you adapt yourself accordingly. That's the way you communicate. And thank you all for making this club moving and growing. Bye. Thanks.
Thank you, Fred Thomas. You took 3 minutes to deliver your. That's great. And let's ask another person to communicate and be connected to us. Who want to go?
I can go.
All right, go, Crystal.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Chris.
First and foremost, I want to congratulate Shushu on her first presentation. Good job. Um, there's always a first time, so this is too many more to come. So don't be shy. You already did the first important work. So yeah, keep on doing it. The book um, was very. The book was very. Uh, I'm not gonna say deep, but it's been a little here and there of everything that we have been exposed to with other books that we read. So to me, my takeaway from this book is really on myself. Communication is essential, as we already all know it, but connecting is a whole new level. And even though I don't do a lot of public speaking or whatsoever, the little that I have had to do, if you're not trying to connect or story to relate to your audience, is like you're talking in the air. And a few examples when I remember some of my talk at Toastmaster. Like, you can have a message, it's all clear, but if you don't make those jokes, if you don't you don't tell those small story that can relate to you and the audience, some at a point you will feel like you're talking to the air because you're losing them. So remembering that, my main takeaway is try to find a middle ground, points that you can relate to people about before you go on to your main message. You get the ear, not only the eyes, you get the ear. John Maxwell gave an example in the book. He said, the president, the South, what's his name?
Bill
The
Clinton.
pres-
Bill Clinton.
no, the South America president. What's his name? The one that
He
already
was talking about Nelson Mandela,
Nelson Mandela. He said Nelson. He
South
said that
Africa.
exactly.
South
South
Africa.
Africa. Yeah, Nelson Mandela said, "Speak to someone in the language that they understand, and you get their attention, and speak to them into the native language, and you get their heart." He had an experience. He was in Russia doing a speech during a time of Soviet Union or something, and his daughter was the one who sing in Russian, and then everyone was applauding. So that really tells us if we can relate to people first before we can get our message along, that is a plus. I am learning communication and trying to connect on a whole new level. Everyone can communicate, but very few can connect. That's true. It is a strategy and it's a continuous learning. And even the best thing that I learned about in this book is that relate to people with your weaknesses, because we know we are imperfect being. And when you can relate with your imperfection, people can relate to you easily. And he also said something regarding Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, those TV show hosts. They were able to connect very easily with the audience, because there was a common. There was someone else who also believed in them, which was Oprah. It's like a middle ground. He said it's like a word of mouth, when you're trying to advertise and you can tell this is these people, they do a good job cleaning and so on. Like, find a middle ground, someone that that relates to you, that people can trust. Found a common ground. That is a powerful thing, and that's the main thing that I'm taking away from this. So thank you all.
Thank you, Lisa.
Welcome.
Your explanation was clear, but you didn't respect the time. But I'll let you go this time.
Thank you. Got it.
All right, thank you, Krista. And who want to go? Or maybe I'll go. Let me put the timer here. So thank you, Shupi, for the presentation. And probably when we finish, I might call you with your dad, so we can discuss a little bit. But beside that, I think this book remind me another powerful book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you see in this book, he says a lot of things that How to Win Friends and Influence People said. He said, when you are going to fish, you don't bring strawberry because you love strawberry. You have to listen to the fish. They love war. They love worms. So is the same thing almost here. By communicating, you have to listen and make sure that you come with what they want to hear. And it's at that time that they will listen to you. But as he was saying that the dad was explaining to the son how apple get oxidized and this, that, and the son finished, the dad finished and he said, Dad, are you talking to me? Because everything that he was saying, he didn't bring it down to his level to explain things. So that's very, very important. And also, we have to try to listen. We are so fast by thinking what we're gonna say next. When he finished, what can I say? What you start thinking, and by doing that, you are not listening, and also you are not connecting. When you don't listen, you don't connect. That's another. And another nice practice way to do things, he was saying that we supposed to be collecting stories. You were in a train or you were in a bus and something happened and everyone laughed. You can quickly write it down and put it somewhere. So when you want to deliver a speech or you communicate in a certain environment, and if that joke is appropriate, you can bring down back there. So that's important as well. And also when we are reading books, we're supposed to put some quotes. And I was thinking when I was thinking about this book that we might create another tab so that if we feel like the quote is good, we can start putting them there so that it can help us to remember, oh, in this book, this guy was saying this, and then we can remember. So that's another. And another thing that I noticed from him, even though that he's like a giant in the communication and leadership books and presentation, he always continue reading. If you notice, there are a lot of books that recently written, and he quote them in his book. I was thinking about James Clear, the atomic habit. Yeah, he quote that. And when I ask how many books that he quoted from other books, is more than 17 books, more than that. So it means that even though that he's questioning his knowledge all the time, what we are doing here, and on that I finish. I was giving 4 minutes to everyone. I'm exactly on 4 minutes minus 20 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
And who want to go?
I think Beyond has his microphone on.
Yeah,
Beyond, you
Beyond,
want to go?
Churel,
So,
Okay, Beyond.
okay, first I want to thank Giovanni for the great presentation. And what I learned from the book is why connection matters and how to connect with those you speak with. And another thing. Back in school, I only ever talked to get information across, and I cared not to create connections, mostly because I was uninterested.
Mm-hmm.
But how you gonna create connection
yeah,
to get with other
that
people?
was my question I was thinking about. Yeah.
You got to be interested.
You gotta be interested in people.
Right? You want to learn about them. You want to know about them. So you need to ask questions, right? You see something, they have something, and say, "Oh, this is nice. how did you get this? And they would start telling you story and you would listen.
Yeah.
And
then you tell them also your story when you get opportunity later.
right.
But at least you can go and say, "Hi, I'm Beyond," and you give your name, right? And how do they call you? What's your
Yeah.
name?
What's your name? I like your backpack. How did you get it? Or what
That's
does
the
this
way
mean on your backpack? Or whatever they have, so you can connect.
to that. And from there you talk. Maybe it might be a study group that you just start creating that way. And when you get an assignment, you're working on it, you can call the other person later when you have the information. Hey, I'm working on this. Or maybe after the class, can we wait and work 1 hour or 2 hours? Or when is a good time? Where can we meet? And you create that
Eh,
bond.
Yes, that's very important. And also when their issue, their pain, their problem tend to be yours, you create a big bond. The author said that in the book that he was so busy, he didn't want to meet that person, but the person came and said, well, how can I help you? And the person said, oh, I don't even know what to ask you. I'm just here. And say, oh, another waste of time. Another, and he was thinking about all this in his head, but finally the person said, oh no, I know that you are getting busier, and I'm just here. I know that I'm free every Thursday. So every Thursday I'll come by, and anything that you want to ask or you want me to run like they call it a running person, I'll do it for you. At that moment, he let her guard down and say, oh my goodness, now there's a connection. Because his pain is now his pain, then he feels that connection. So that's important as well, Beyond.
Did you hear that, Beyond?
Yeah.
All right.
All
So we're
right.
gonna work in making connection.
Thank you, Bio. And I still have two people. If they want to go, it's not by obligation, but if they want to go, they have the floor. I have a Steve and Shirel.
No, my husband is busy with work,
Oh,
so he won't be
oh,
speaking.
okay, okay, okay. I'll let him go then. And Shirel?
Okay, I guess I'll be the last one. I want to thank Giovanna for the presentation. It was a great presentation. Um, this is the same author as last week, right? John
Yes.
Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't mention it in my presentation last week, but he cites a lot of books. And
Yes.
if you go to the end of his books, you can
Yep.
see the addendums where he
Yep.
like cites them all.
Mhm.
And I remember the book I was presenting, he had like 60 or so addendums or citations.
That is true.
And it was just like, it's honestly impressive his dedication to it, right? He does in fact do as he says.
Yep.
But just talking about the ideas presented in this book, I will definitely say that it reflects my experience, right? Where it's like life is easier when you do things with other people, even if the thing you are doing is something you need to complete by yourself, right? Because it is incredibly rare that you are the only person in the entire world trying to solve that specific problem at that specific time, and no one else can help you, right? It is bordering on impossible, right? So the fact that you spend those times to make those connections for the future, right? Whenever you may or may not need it, right? Just like having those connections there is incredibly important. And presenting, like the so often when we present, it's a one-way thing, right? In many settings where it's like you are the sole presenter, it might be a dozen plus people. You're not getting that individual connection one-on-one, but you can still connect with you can try to present in a way that allows you to connect with one or two people in the audience more meaningfully. And I do like the ideas that the author like builds on, right? So so I'll say is that's all for me, really. I want to thank everyone for all they had to say, and I hope everyone has a good night.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank you.
Shira.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That is very well said.
Yeah, we still have a few more minutes. I think 14 more minutes, and I'll let the floor open for anyone who want to add something or who want to give some advice or suggestion. You have the floor.
So my advice to we all,
Mm-hmm.
if you allow me,
Mm-hmm.
is if we read a lot and we don't practice, we become philosopher.
That is true.
We have too much knowledge, but we don't
Uh-huh.
put anything in practice.
Mm-hmm.
So this club is a club of the people who should do it and who shall do it. And we have to practice what we are learning here to make our life easier or to elevate our skill, to elevate our personality. So when you are in the room, when you open your mouth, people will listen, they will pay attention. That's what this club is about, right? At the end of the day, that's where we are. Even if you don't know a topic, people will doubt that you don't know because you're reading a lot. You're talking about Maxwell, Jim Rohn, Olmadingo, all of that, right? Communication is our topic for tonight. And I asked the question before that I asked, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, 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 my son. Right? That's the answer. So
You had to know how to pay the price.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Even though the guy, the little
Wanted
boy
to
was
walk to
asking it,
Carnegie Hall. He
Carnegie
needed the
Hall, you know Carnegie
direction.
Hall, right?
You talk about it. I've never been there, honey.
No, I never been to Carnegie Hall, but does anyone know Carnegie Hall?
No,
It's
I
in
don't.
New York, where they
It's in
play
New York. Yeah,
musical instrument or
yeah,
musical, or how do they call it, a theater or something like that.
theater.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
when like most of the famous people who gonna do movie, comedy, big stuff later in life, you have to go through that at some point back then, right? But the guy, he was going there, and like a GPS, he said you arrive, right? But you don't know where is that place located. And he saw the janitor outside and asked him how to get to Carnegie Hall. And the janitor said, practice, 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 my son, practice. One day you get there. He didn't know he was asking guess what is the
The
orientation.
way to
They
get
were to
there.
get to because right. So this is my call for us
Mhm.
to whatever we select to do, to put the time in. If I want to improve my communication skill, at least with this club, I learn how to listen. And not only that, I listen to myself.
Mhm.
I can nowadays I can listen to people. Sometimes I'm listening to them and I feel like they don't even know what they are saying. I
Yes.
can feel that, right?
Mhm.
I say thank to you all in this club. That's what I'm right now. And I can listen, I can wait, and sometimes I don't need to answer like before anymore to jump. So communication is very important because when you open your mouth, you're telling the world who you are by whatever is coming out. If it's true, if it's inaccurate, people they know how they can gauge you and what you write. So it's key that we keep this book club growing, living, and I'll stop there and give the floor to someone else. But we need to get to Carnegie Hall.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
practicing music.
No, not music. Is remember we read the book here. I
Practice
think
music.
the other guy, the guy who teaches eat that frog,
Yeah,
Brian Tracy.
Brian
Brian
Tracy.
Tracy, right?
Yeah.
He said if you select a skill and you spend 10,000 hours on it,
Mhm.
probably you'll be among some of the best if you keep it alive, right? So whatever we
Definitely.
want to do, if it's to talk, if it's to speak a language, or to be good at something, uh, not everyone is born with some skill, right? Most of the skill you can learn in life. So practice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I think that that rule as well. John C. Maxwell said that because at one point he wanted to improve his golf playing techniques, and he got to the coach, and the coach told him, "Oh, you just need 30 hours per week." And she's, "I cannot do that," because he doesn't want to do that extensive practice. So that's why he cannot be the best player
Good
in the
golfer.
golf. So yeah, definitely. And who want to go? Otherwise, I have two things that I want to share, two or three.
Okay,
Who
I
want
do
to start?
have a
Yeah,
couple.
go ahead.
I mean, yeah. Cheryl's presentation last time emphasized on simplicity,
Mm-hmm.
and this book has also drawn our attention so heavily on simplicity.
Keep it
Mm-hmm.
And
simple.
keep it simple. We have to keep it simple, and we will not get there without practice, as
Mm-hmm.
Fred Thomas was emphasizing on his presentation. And he showed that. He even mentioned people like Pascal, Blaise Pascal, that has a famous quote that said that he could have got it shorter if he were to have longer time to prepare it. So Maxwell tried to tell us that if we keep it simple, we will get better to our audience than what we will do if we try to make it more complex or theoretical or book-wise. So I would like to share something that he said. That he said that Maxwell confesses that in the beginning, in the early years as a speaker, he used to rely heavily on notes, on polished content. Over time, he relied more. No, he realized that his audience did not care about his perfect delivery. They care more whether he was connected with them emotionally and relationally. Then he began using humor, vulnerability, and conversational style that he could use to be more connected to people. He started using style that focuses on his people rather than what he has to present. And as our presentator today, Giovanni was telling us from the beginning, it should be more about who we are talking to. People do not care about what we say. They care about how they feel about what we say. So he used the expression by saying that people don't care about what you know until they know about how much you care.
Yeah.
So we should also do the same thing by using the example that he has given. He said one, Fred Arun mentioned it, use many storytelling. Christelle also mentioned that, many storytelling. We should tell stories. And we know, and he asked us to think, what are the speakers that we remember? And why do we remember them? It will be depending on what kind of stories they have told us during the time. And when people are presenting anything, and then even if you are wandering in the room and they start telling a story, it captures your attention. And then he went further by saying that to make things better, we should write the story in a concise manner and read it. If we could read it, and then when he was saying that, he tried to say that read it and use the tone that reflected the room that you are speaking with. And I remember Shirel's presentation last time when he also mentioned I have a speech. I have a dream of Martin Luther King. If you just read I have a dream, the way you read it, nobody will even have an idea of what you are talking about. But when you start using the intonation, the pause, you try to, emphasize on certain words, the way you pull it, the way you even, he also said, practice your pause. You have to be able to pause from time to time and let people sink the thing in. So to make matter, or to a long story short, we need to try to present in a way that it is conversational rather than presenting lecture. And then we should also try to focus on our audience. When we focus on the audience, we will most probably get the right communication whenever we want it. And the last example that I want to mention, when he was returning back to his congregation and he was getting ready, preparing for weeks, and his wife finally asked him, "What are you going to present there?" And he said, "Oh, he was preparing this and that." The wife told him, "No, please. Today, you are presenting to thousands of people. That congregation, you started with only 25 people, and it's still a small congregation. If you go and use the same style there, you will miss it." So he reached out to them, tried to find old pictures, certain things that he has, baptism that he has to for certain key members for with their a family members, and so on and so forth. And on top of that, some of the slanders, the mistakes that he had made during his the starting point, he listed them. And when he got there, even ahead of time, started sharing pictures with people, started replaying the past, and so on. Everyone was enthusiastic. And the more he remembered them of some of the mistakes and the pitfall that he was having, all the kind of slander that he was having, those who are having it today, they felt related, and they feel that they will become one day as big as he is if they continue practicing. Therefore, the mistakes that they are doing today are more than normal. So thank you, everyone. Yes, the mistakes that we are making today are all normal, but when we keep practicing, by the time we get to our 10,000 hours, eventually probably 2,000 or 3,000 books, I'm pretty sure we'll be close. So let's keep it simple and make it conversational. Thank you.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you, Lord. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
No problem.
And if we don't have anything else, I'll quickly have 4 points here. It's not, you know me, I don't I don't drag my conversation, but first of all, is when Charlie was talking about the fact that John C. Maxwell was taking all his mistake and bringing alive and say, "Oh, me too, I'm a human being. I can do mistake and do." It just remind me about Newsom Gavin, the governor, California governor. He said that he has an hotel, and in among his employee staff, he has a failure or try and fail award. Try and fail award. And
Wow.
yes, so it's not that you do something better that they will give you that award. Is that you try and probably you fail, then they will give you the award. And the award was what? He has a hotel, and there was a lot of mosquitoes going around, and I mean, killing the staff, the guests, and all this one. And one guy said, "Oh, why not bring catfish in the pond so that the catfish will start eating those mosquitoes?" That was a good idea, isn't it? To find a solution for that, but not thinking about about how shakaru, how do you call it? Those nights like a dogs.
Yeah. I
Uh,
know I know you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So
Coyote?
It's
those
not
ones,
coyote. It's
the
close to
coyotes.
coyote, but it's not.
The coyotes,
coyote.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
It looks like coyote.
yeah, it's coyote. They
The
forget that
coyote.
the coyote now start coming for the fish and start grabbing them and running through the hotel, and everything is wet. everything's there's blood everywhere. They say, yeah, at least he tried, but it might not be the best solution. So definitely it's good on that way. So I want to bring up, how do we know, is a question that might not relate to what we are talking about, but how do we know that something is expensive or cheaper? How do we know
If you
that
have,
something's
you knew
expensive?
the price before.
Hmm? Say it again.
How do we know that something is expensive or cheaper?
So depend. It depends on what you can afford
No, it depends on
on you.
if you bought it before or if you knew the price before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
And
like
all
my
comes down
dad,
to having a standard to compare to. Yeah.
that's
yeah.
what I was going. It depends on your expectation. If you are
Mhm.
expecting
Oh,
that that Rolls Royce will cost 250,000, and then you get there and they say, oh, it's only 50,000. You say, oh, it's a great thing, because your expectation and the real price, there's a difference. So
yes.
when we are doing a communication as well, we have to maintain that. You might say, oh, if you come to my communication, you have 10 items, 10 technique to communicate. But when they are going, you give them 20. You give them the expectation to be like this, but when they come, you give them more. They will
More.
love you. It's the same thing happening to us when we live here and we go to Africa, and they'll say, oh, you see, this coconut, we sell it for maybe 50 cents. Even though that is 25 cents they were selling, but they know that you are from outside, they say 50 cents, you still feel like it's a robbery, because your expectation might be thinking about $5, $2, but they say 50 cents. So the expectation is something very important for ourselves and for our life, even in the communication. That's one point. And the Sir Colomb was saying that sometimes we introvert, because I consider myself as an introvert, I don't like to talk too much. And we introvert, we don't want to talk and something like. But when you are listening and you have something to say, I tend to, if it's in a communication and I feel like I don't want to stop the
The,
communication,
the,
I
the,
might.
are we having the voice issue? Because it is breaking badly at my end. I'm not sure if it's the same at everybody's end.
It's
No,
okay for us.
it's okay for us.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
when I have something to say and people are talking, I will put my finger together and say, okay, just to put a reminder so that I don't jump into the conversation, but I will keep it to remind myself to go there. So it's one technique. And the last one that I have is, how do you do a prompt? I find it a good technique to do a prompt in ChatGPT. A prompt is a way to tell the ChatGPT to do something for you. But imagine that you want to do something in a communication and you don't even know what communication is for. So instead of asking him to do it, you reverse the role and say, oh, ChatGPT, I want you to help me to write this prompt by asking me question one by one. Let me reverse it again. I want ChatGPT to help me to come up with a car. I want to build a car. I'm not a technician of a car. I might come with my few knowledge and say, oh, write me or draw me a nice car that will be this, that will be that, and you stop there. But if you reverse the role and say, I'm here novice, I want to do a car, I want to build a car, ask me question, what car do I want, one by one. Because he is expert, he will start asking you questions. Oh, how your car to be? You want it to be 20 places or 4 seats? Do you want it to be 3? Do you want the wiper to be like this? And start asking you questions till you reach the end. When he reaches the end, and you ask him, okay, write me that prompt. Write me that prompt to have all this information that I give to you. Write me that prompt. And by doing that, you have a great prompt that you can submit to any chat GPT or any GPT style to get what you want. The same thing for this presentation. If you want him to write you a presentation, you must say, ask me question. How do I want the presentation to be? Oh, my presentation, I want to present the author. I want to give me some takeaway. I want you to give me some critics of the book. I want you to, and then you ask him, okay, write me a prompt that will enroll all these questions that we just answered, and he will ask. So it's the best way to write a prompt without writing prompt.